Um, hey, is anyone there? Whew. Okay, so I'm just submitting this stream to a few places so that maybe a few more visitors will come. If you guys are there, let me know. We can start chatting about what I'm going to be working on today and what you guys are working on. Cool. Hey Lurks, how's it going? By your name, I imagine you might just lurk. But if you want to reach out and ask some questions, let me know. I'm going to just be prepping for the stream for the first 5 minutes, just posting about what I'm streaming and where I'm streaming. Okay. I'll do Facebook too, I guess. And live stream. So today I'm going to be mostly working on a web framework, but I'm also going to have a chat vote on some tutorial topics, and then I'll do like a 30-minute to 40-minute tutorial on like React or Vue.js or some other JavaScript framework. Okay. There we go. From 11 a.m. EST to, we'll say like 2 p.m. EST. We'll probably go until 2 p.m. today. Okay, so that's good. Just a few more places I gotta post it. I try to post it as many places as I can so that, there's a few more visitors, and usually, with more visitors we get more interaction, it's more exciting, we get more ideas. It's always a lot of fun to have more people come. So I'll just post this here. Live coding a web framework, Twitch, Panphora, cool. Oh, I should put the time too. Man, 11 a.m. EST to 2 p.m. EST. Okay, let me share that. Okay, cool. So I think there's maybe just one more place I want to post it. We got Watch People Code, Twitter, Product Makers, Happy Learners, Facebook. Okay, so the last place I want to post it is Product Hunt, one of my favorite websites. And we're going to just I'm going to go to the makers area. This is kind of just like a little social network for people who make stuff. So it's a pretty cool thing. Okay. This is a little bit too long for them, I guess. So let's see. So it's 98. So we can just do this, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. I hate how they have a 80 character maximum, but that's kind of okay. Cool. So that's cool. And I'll close this. And I think that's all the places we're going to post it for now. I think this might be a good place to post it too. I've been thinking about posting it here. They kind of have like some, yeah, they have like a bunch of live coders. This is cool. This is a person live coding a game. They've been live for 6 hours. That's cool. Okay. So I'm going to go here, type in a username, and hopefully this will be good. Huh. Okay. Okay, it's already registered. How do I log in then? Claim it before it's lost. I don't know how to claim this before it's lost. I guess maybe all of the claim and verify this account. Can I just maybe sign up with a different account? Oh. Email is already registered. Okay, so let's log out and log in with. So I'm never sure with like these types of applications if it's like Slack where you need like a different email and password for everything, or if it's like one login. And I think it's just one login with this. Okay, so we're going to join this Discord. And let's accept the invite. And we can open on Discord, that's fine. Okay. So this is the last place we'll post it, and then we're going to get to work. Let's see. Design and JavaScript web development. I think that's fine. That's a fine title for the stream. Jeez, okay. This is taking a little while to get set up. That's okay though. We'll open up our documentation that we left off with yesterday. And that's going to be this little quick reference. This is the first thing we're going to work on today. Although I do want to create a Google form. Okay, so we can close this. Hey, Menchie Bantam. I am just setting up the stream. I'm going to get started doing some programming and some documentation and brainstorming very soon. Let me know what you're up to, what you want to see. I'm also going to create a Google form to see what people want to learn about, and I'm going to do like a free tutorial for like 30 minutes at the end of the stream. So if you have any ideas, you could put them in chat now and I'll add them to the multiple choice form. What topic should I do a tutorial about? And it can be any topic. Let's see, stream, Twitch, we'll say Twitch, questions. What topic should I do a tutorial about? And we're going to do multiple choice, I guess? I don't know, we can do checkboxes, that's fine. We'll do checkboxes. And option 1 is going to be React.js. Option 2 is going to be Angular. Option 3 is going to be, do I do backend or front end? I do both backend and front end, but I'm more experienced with the backend. I'm more experienced with the front end. So like I have a lot of experience with UX and UI design, doing like user research, CSS, like Flexbox, different frameworks. Like I've worked with React, I've worked with Vue, I've worked with Knockout.js, but I also have some experience with Mongo, Node.js, Express.js, the server side. Yeah, but like mostly I just know JavaScript, whether it's server or front end. So we can say like Node.js / Express.js. And then we're going to say, what else? Twitch questions. Okay, so what other things? It could just be like ES6, like a JavaScript ES6 tutorial. We could do one on CSS. We could say like Flexbox. Let's say Flexbox, and then like CSS. We could do like, what else could we do? We could like play around with grid. We could, I guess we could put like a topic for this. We could do like template literals for JavaScript, and we could do like another one like arrow functions for JavaScript. I don't know. I mean, arrow functions aren't really like a huge topic, but it could be fun to just like touch base on it. And if like some of these get more votes, then I can do like more than one if it doesn't take that long to just do one of them. Okay, we could do like sketch, like design, sketch app, and let me think. What you need to know as a web developer. I'm sure there's a good Medium article about this. Or let's see. Yeah, here we go. Technopedia. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Oh man, this isn't very interesting. Let's go back. Oh, it did. Okay, well, let's just go back. Okay, cool. So front-end developer, let's look at this. jQuery? No, not really. Content management systems. Frameworks. I guess we can put Remake.js because that's the framework I'm working on, framework I'm building. Okay, and let's pick like one more thing. So let's go to like CSS tricks. I love CSS tricks. This is like a great resource for any programmer. Oops, but it doesn't have the .com. Oh yeah, it's a dash. It's a dash between the CSS and tricks. Okay, everything you need to know about date. Date is kind of interesting, but it's a little bit kind of complicated. We could go to like sort. Sort is good. Responsive images. Oh, how about Firebase? I've like wanted to learn more about Firebase, and then we'll add another option. Okay, so let's we'll send this and we'll post this in chat. If you have any other things you want to know about or you want to get a tutorial about, just put them in the other field or type them in chat, and I'll add them to this this list of questions. Okay, so I think, what is this? Is this the one I was just invited to with belly.io? Hey, Mark Flea and Lurks, how are you doing? How are your days going? What are you working on? Um, okay, let's see. Bifoco. I think, let's see. So I'm working on just like submitting my stream to one more place before I get started with actual programming stuff. Because I think this is a pretty cool website that some people check out. Okay, cool. So share your dev projects. Streamers go live. Okay, I'm streaming about, hey, Android 4682, how's it going? What are you working on? What do you want me to do a tutorial about? At the end of this stream, I'm going to do a tutorial on a topic that the chat picks. So if you go here, fill out this form to have me do a tutorial on the picked topic at, we'll say like 1 p.m. 1 p.m. or like 12:30. I think 1 p.m. is good because that way people can have lunch if they want to have lunch. Okay, so I'm gonna just finish posting this. I'm streaming about creating a web app framework, and I'm gonna post my Twitch here, and then I'll be done with sharing my stream. How do I add my stream to Ellie? Hey, Tatiana Daruma, how's it going? It's okay, great. So I'm gonna close this for a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna get back to programming and documenting stuff. But let's look at the chat real quick. So Android 4682 says, I'm working on a lot of different things, but I'll pick something that sounds cool. Okay, cool. Android, by the way, if you want to add your own idea, you can put it in chat or put it in the other option, and then I'll add it to this list so that other people can select from that option. And I'll put user submitted topics at the top so that they'll be like more prominent. Tatiana says, it's going, realizing this project just got a lot more complicated. I'm not happy. How are things with you? Yeah, that's what it's like being a developer, it feels like a lot of the time. I have a project. This framework that I'm working on is going just like that too. What's the, what are you working on? What's the project? Is it for work or like a personal project? But yeah, like this framework like used to just be like one little library, and now it's expanded into a big project. Okay, so I'm going to get back to working on this documentation, and yeah, let me know what you guys are working on. Hey, Solvin, how's it going? Good to see you again. How are you doing this morning? Python or Vala? Okay. Actually, I've never heard of Vala. So Sullivan, today I'm taking, like having people fill out a form, and if you have like a topic that you want me to do a tutorial on, you can fill that out. It's under a non-disclosure agreement, but basically it's about 120. Should I be reading this live on on stream? Oops. Where is the chat? So it's under NDA, but basically it's about 120 small illustrations that I let the client talk me down on price because of amount. And now I have all the regrets because there's so much more that needs to be put into place. 120 small illustrations. That is an amazing amount of work. Geez. Are they like icons or like Twitch emotes, or are they like bigger? Okay, good, good, good. Good, you wouldn't type anything. Yeah, so, I mean, I guess if they're Twitch emotes, I could see that being possible to do, but if you're making something bigger than that, icon illustrations? Okay, so like icon, that's still really, really hard. You should like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. That's just a lot of work. That's crazy. So you're an illustrator? Are you also like trying to learn about like web development or game development? Oh, is this, oh, what is this? Validoc. Is this like is this a way of documenting code? About Vala. There we go. It's a programming language using modern high-level abstractions without imposing additional runtime requirements and without using a different ABI compared to applications and libraries written in C. Okay, that's cool. I don't know if this is the best thing for me to teach because I mostly know JavaScript, but I'm going to add Python because Python was my first programming language. So I think I still know some of that, and we could probably make like a kind of a cool project with it. So I'll add that to the topics. Oh, cool. That's really cool of you, Tatiana. I really appreciate you stepping in. Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Sullivan says that Python's all she's doing at work right now, and she loves Python. That's awesome. Yeah, Python is pretty cool. I think if you could use Python on the front end, then I'd be much more likely to use it. Definitely. But yeah, JavaScript's just nice because you can you can use it on the front end and the back end, and you can even share code, between the front end and the back end, which is nice. Okay, so I'm going to get back to documenting remake. So my plan today is to finish this quick reference of remake.js, and then work on some code, and then work on some more code, and then do a tutorial. Hey, Anon543264, how's it going? Are you, what are you interested in? Are you learning how to code? Are you working on a project for work? If you want to fill out this form, it will help me decide what to do a tutorial about later in the stream. At around 1 p.m. I think is when I'll do the tutorial. Maybe a little earlier, I'm not sure. Okay. Oh yeah. I'm live streaming building a web app framework. Again. Okay, sorry. This is the last place I'm going to post my stream. I forgot before to post it there. Okay, so let's go into where is our documentation? We have the documentation. Hey, Cowtel and Nagaromo, how's it going? What are you guys working on? What do you guys want to learn about? Is there anything in particular you'd want me to do a stream about? I can teach something about that. The better question, I think, is what kind of tutorial for each, like API, auth, components, states, etc., etc. what are we signing up for if we select the things in the form? Oh, so it's the topic of a tutorial that I'm going to do like in this stream at like around 12:30. I'll do a tutorial on that topic. And if I don't know the topic super well, like it's Python, then it's going to be more me like playing around with it and trying to figure it out, like with you guys. But I'll try to pick something that I have at least a little bit of experience with. Okay, so I have to search for this again. Where is it? Data.js notes. Okay. So we'll get these, put them in here. Okay, so these are the ones I have so far. CSS Grid. Okay, cool. I will add that to the Twitch questions. Oh wait, it's already there. I'm going to move it up. I'll move it up. Cool. Yeah, I'm actually going to put it above Python just because I know more about CSS Grid than Python. I kind of know Python, but it's been a while. My favorite thing about Python is definitely the array, or what do they call it, list expansions. Those are so cool. I miss those in JavaScript. It just made it so easy to iterate through a list and create another list. It's basically like a mini map function. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here. There's one more thing I needed to add to this attribute. Attribute when the following conditions are met. Okay. There's one more thing about this. Okay. Notes. I guess we'll add it to notes. It's kind of more important than being in a note, but I guess we'll put it in here. We'll say if this attribute is attached to a form, form element, data will be synced from it back into the element that triggered it. The data switch actions element. Okay, cool. So I added that caveat to that. Data I save. I'm going to add a note to start with. Yeah, if you need any ideas, if you need any places to like find ideas, Reddit is usually a great place to go. They have like, I think they have like a whole wiki dedicated to helping you come up with ideas for your projects. But I don't know, I think one of the funnest things is coming up with ideas yourself. So if you like that, then that that might be better for you. Note. Okay. We're actually going to put data I save and data I save deep. Okay. So when data is synced into what is your favorite IDE and why is it Sublime? So I like Sublime because it can handle lots of text and it's not opinionated and it's really fast. So I use it for like note taking and I use it for coding and I use it like for brainstorming and I use it for journaling. So as you can tell, like a lot of what I do, more than half of what I do in my editor is not coding. I do an amazing amount of coding in it too though, but I like my editor to be more lightweight than something like Visual Studio Code, because Visual Studio Code feels like I'm coding. But if I just open up like Sublime really quick, it feels like I can just take some notes and it can be like pretty lightweight. Also, Visual Studio Code does things like auto completions and like auto closing parentheses and quotes and stuff like that. And I really don't like that. Like, I don't know if you can notice, if you can tell like by my screen, but like I don't have anything that interferes with like what I'm focused on. And I don't like my computer telling me to do stuff. So that's why I don't like use a full IDE. But I've heard a lot of really good things about Visual Studio Code. So I think if you use that yourself or something like that, then I think you're probably being a tiny bit more productive than I am in some situations. It has like really good integrations with GitHub, or not GitHub, but like Git has really good integrations with Git. It lets you like live run code. I think Sublime does too, but I think it's harder to use. It has some like really good themes. Pretty much the whole developer community is switching over to it. So yeah. I'm curious, Android, is that what you were, is that like what you're using, Visual Studio Code? Is synced into an element, the closest data I save attribute is found. And its function and its value is called as a function. This function should save the data to the backend via Ajax. When you're, let's put it in notes. Notes. Sometimes I'm like nervous that when someone asks me a question about my IDE or something like that, they're like gonna leave the stream if I don't use the right IDE. I'm like, but wait, I'll switch. Don't leave. Notes. Okay, so the note about this is when you're creating the initial version of an app, of a web app, it's usually best to have a single data I save deep. It's say when you're creating the initial version of a web app, it's recommended to just have a single data I save deep attribute at the top of your page. So if you guys are curious what I'm doing right now, I'm just documenting this framework that I'm building so that I can have like a quick reference that I can point people to show them, you know, what the framework does and how all the pieces fit together. So Android says, I've used Sublime when I started coding, but when I start to learn the features in VS Code, I give it a try, and now I use it for every project. It has a good integration with so many languages and Git, nice auto-completion, debugger built in, settings per project. No worries, I don't care who uses what IDE as long as I get the job done. Nice. Yeah, I feel similarly. I think there's like in the developer ecosystem, I feel like there's like a constant ebb and flow to technologies. Like back when I first started out, something like React.js like never made it because people are all about like keeping the view logic separate from the like controller logic. But you know, now it's like it makes so much sense. And I think the same thing for IDEs. I think when like Sublime first took off, people were like, oh, I want like an unopinionated IDE, like I'm tired of all of these like really slow IDEs. Um, nice. Um, yeah, so so I think everyone switched to Sublime because they're like, oh, I can customize this infinitely and like have whatever theme I want, and it's really lightweight and it can handle like 1,000 pages of text. But now you can have the balance, right? With VS Code, it's still really fast, even though it does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Um, so I think it's striking a nice balance. Have a single data attribute at the top of your page, which will just say which will be responsible for saving your entire app state. Okay, cool. And okay, next one is this one. I changed this one a lot. So I actually have to look at the code to figure out what this is doing now. So we're going to go into remake test. I'm going to public, JavaScript, remake JS, input event listener. Okay, so now we just have a data I. Oh no, what is this doing? Input. I feel like there's another one too. Is there... Okay, so this gets the camel case. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, this is doing what I was thinking. Okay, cool. So now we just have a data I attribute instead of this. So we have data I, and I don't think we get anything from it, yeah. Okay. So when data, or when not any. So this data I attribute is going to be used on like all different kinds of inputs. So I think it can be used on a radio button. It can definitely be used on an input. So we'll say when an input, oh wait, but they're all inputs. It's like input, so radios are like input type radio, checkboxes are input type checkbox, text is input type checks. So when an input, and we'll say like IE, like checkbox, radio, text, or text area, changes its value. Its date, if it has this attribute, the value, how can I say this simpler? When an input, has its value changed, I guess, has its value changed, if it has this attribute, that value will be synced into the closest matching okay. This is a little bit more difficult to explain than I thought it was going to be. Oh no. Have you searched Google for like ad bug Twitch ad bugs? Here, let's see. What does Twitch say itself? Okay. They say there's a link, add issues. So you might want to look into that. But I think there's a subreddit thing about it too. I don't know. I don't know if you still get ads with. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I don't know if you still get ads if you use an extension with Twitch, but if you're using Chrome, there's this Twitch extension. I know you like to watch the ads to support. So if this doesn't support ads, then you could turn it off. But there's called Alternative Player for Twitch, and sometimes when when my stream, like I watch like gaming streams a lot, and when it's like freezing all of the time, I use this, and it works in the same like window, and it like stops all of the buffering. Like it just works. So like I'll show you like a stream here. So if it creates this like little button up here with a 5 in it, and if you click that, it's gonna like use like a native video player, and it's just like really nice. Like you have all kinds of like advanced options with like video quality and buffering and everything. And in my opinion, this is like much better way to watch Twitch. And you also have the chat here too, so you can like open up the chat, and it's much more like lightweight than the native Twitch player. But just an idea. So yeah, that's the thing I'm not sure about, because I don't get ads because I have Twitch Prime, so I'm not sure. So you could try it, and then if you don't get ads and you feel guilty, then you could go back to the old way. But it might be just worth trying out. Okay, so I'm going to put this first. Use in combination. Oh, well, it's hard to know actually, because I also use an ad blocker, so it's hard to tell which one is doing it. I figured that maybe it was Twitch Prime that made you not get ads, but maybe not. I'm not sure. Twitch Prime ads. Oh, okay. Well, it looks... Wait. So this was posted in August. Oh, okay. So it's no longer a thing. It used to be a thing. Continue to get ad-free viewing if you already have an annual subscription, or if you upgrade to an annual subscription. Okay. It's still all Twitch viewers can get ad-free across all channels by subscribing to Twitch Turbo. Okay. Weird. Pretty much they're gonna have like Twitch Super Turbo and stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, Sullivan, why don't you try the alternative player, and then if it doesn't show ads, then you can switch back. But if it solves your freezing issues, but then still plays ads, then it would probably be perfect for you. YouTube Red is so good. It used to not be worth it. But have you seen the original shows, guys? Did you guys watch? I'm sorry to like geek out about this show, but because it's kind of it's kind of a terrible show. Like it's like really out there. But what is it called? It's like super intense. It's got this young kid in it, and he's like a total badass, and he rides a motorcycle, and Wayne, this is the one. It's also like I think based in like Charlestown, and I'm like from Boston, so it was kind of cool. But I think it's like the most badass show. Have you guys seen that? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about YouTube on Twitch. Maybe they'll ban me or something. Okay, name attribute. Oh yeah, Impulse is so good too. Wasn't that awesome? I watched that with my wife and she just loved it. We can't wait for season 2. Yeah, Wayne is like Fight Club, except it's like the main character is the only guy doing the Fight Club, but he's like Fight Club against the world. Android, thanks for stopping by. Feel free to stop in later. I'll probably be streaming for at least the next like 2 hours, probably. Yeah, it was super good. Hey, Justin from Far, how's it going? If you have any questions or want to tell us what you're working on, feel free. I also have this form that you can fill out, and it'll determine what I what I do a tutorial about at 1 p.m. So in a little bit more than an hour, I'm going to do a tutorial on one of these topics. Okay, back to the documentation. Using combination with the name attribute when an input has its value changed. If it has this attribute, how can I say this more simply? Okay, using combination with the name attribute. When an input our text area has its value updated, that value will be synced with the closest data O key. Closest matching data O key using the value of the name attribute. as I'm like describing these things for this framework, I'm like, man, this is so complicated. Is anyone ever going to understand what this framework actually does? But like in practice, it feels so natural for me to use this framework. But oh, cool. That's awesome. You learned about a new thing. I wonder, how much is Turbo? Is it expensive? Attribute as the matching criteria. Yeah, I'm a little worried that this framework's a little bit too complicated. But I think if I explain it in the right way, if I like learn how to make it simple, then then it's going to be pretty easy. Okay, for example, we'll do like input type text, data I, and then name equals we'll say like post title. Are you going to sign up for Turbo? Input type text, data I, post title will sync with an attribute above it, and the DOM called, okay, data. I feel like I should be like explaining more of this to you guys. Okay, so test. Yep, we can hear you. You don't see a difference? Is this with, did you install the extension? Sullivan, did you install the extension? Oh, you got Turbo. Nice. That's awesome. Did it, is there an ad? Oh, it's not too bad. Oh, nothing changed? Did you refresh? Maybe sometimes it takes a little bit for that kind of transaction to go through. Okay. Used in combination with the name attribute. I feel like, yeah. Yeah, hopefully it goes through for you soon. I think I can say this in a simpler way. So syncs data from an input or text area into the closest matching data O key. The match is based on the input's name attribute. Okay. Yeah, I think that's better than what I have here. And I can keep the for example, I think. Okay, cool. So that's a lot simpler than it was. It's not great though. Okay, so we're gonna do this now. So syncs the value of this attribute into the closest matching data O key attribute. So what I'm documenting right now is all about like how the input JS library works, and that's how we're gonna, with this framework, how we're gonna sync data back into the DOM. So we already documented output.js, which allows you to get data out of the DOM and like save it to a database. But input.js is going to let you modify that data. So we've got data async, or I should say input. Data input sync, data input save, data input choice, and now we're going to do, oh, okay. I should say when clicked. Okay. Now we're going to do key and value. Okay. Syncs. No, that's not the value of this attribute. Syncs. Syncs to the closest matching data key attribute. The value, the match is based on a data I key attribute defined on this same element. I guess that's okay. And the value that's set is based on a data I value attribute defined on this same element. That's a bit long-winded. When clicked, syncs data to the closest matching data O key value. The match is based on the data on a data I key attribute, and the value is based on a data value attribute. Okay, cool. So it'll work now. Nice. That's awesome. Glad to have you here without any bugs, Salvin. What are you working on today, Salvin? I think you said you're working. Are you working freelance? Are you working remote? Or I forget. I think we can delete those. Okay. Now I've got copy layout. Guys, we're almost done with the quick reference. This is awesome. Probably no one's going to read this for a little bit, but that's okay. Working remote. Okay, cool. And you're learning about JavaScript and HTML. You took a break from it for a while, and now you're back into it. And usually you're at work, but not today. Okay, that's cool. Are you gonna? Do you have any like side projects that you're working on, or fighting with collation issues in the database? Oh, I don't even know what collation is. I really don't. So that shows you how much I know about backend development. Hey, Studio Long, how's it going? Hi from Happy Learners. That's awesome. I love that community. If you have any questions about technical stuff, let me know, and I'll do my best to respond. If you have any ideas for what I should do a tutorial on, like if you're interested in like SVG graphics or animations or game development or JavaScript in general, you just let me know and I'll do a tutorial based on the most voted response at around 1 p.m. So just let me know. Also, what are you working on, Studio? I know you're probably an illustrator since you're coming from Happy Learners. Cool. You're working on, so Solvin says she's working on a site called Fickbee, a site for fan fiction, fan art, fan music, fan everything. That's awesome. That's really cool. I wonder, is it live? Studio Long says he or she is a full-time strategic designer at the University of Illinois. That's really cool. Cool. She. So I think that sounds like an awesome role. Like I would really like to be a strategic designer. That sounds really cool. Oh, cool. So all the illustrations are in your free time. That's cool. So you don't get to do any like illustrations at your work? Wireframing website. Cool. Yeah. I think I was kind of a strategic designer early on, but not really. Mostly just pushing pixels. I don't think you can call someone who works in... Oh, this is not Fickbee. Okay. I don't think you can call someone who mostly does CSS a strategic designer. I think that's the opposite of a strategic designer. I've done a couple here or there, but most of my work is more traditional marketing, strategy, and design work. That's cool. That sounds like just like what I need to learn more about. I definitely like building stuff, like web apps and stuff, but at my last job I programmed a whole lot of web banner ads. Yeah, I got tricked into to a job that ended up being mostly designing ads, and I thought it was going to be so much more. So I've done a couple here or there, but most of my work is more traditional marketing strategy and design work. Yeah, that sounds like such a cool job, honestly. That sounds like such a cool job. I think so. I'm gonna guess what strategic design is. No, I'm not gonna do that. How about Studio Long? If you have some time, maybe you could explain to the channel what strategic design is, because I think I could like take a stab at it, but I really don't. I really don't know. It's a made-up university title for art director because they can't put director in a title because in the context of the university it means something. Oh, okay, okay. Cool. Okay, so this one, target to copy position. Okay, copy position. So when clicked, copies the top and left offset of the current element onto the element selected by the first argument. Is FICB public yet? Hey Magic Spin, welcome to the chat. By the way, you guys, just a quick reminder that there is still this form up if you guys want to fill it out. It'll help me decide what to do a tutorial on at 1 p.m. So in about an hour, I'm going to do a tutorial on one of these topics. And if you have any suggestions for topics I should add, let me know and I'll add them to this list. Okay, so, and probably in about a half an hour, I'm gonna like pick a topic and then we're gonna like, I'll make a different form that'll help us dig into like what particular things you guys want to learn about that topic. Oh, the landing page. Yeah. Do you have like a good way of building and hosting your landing page, or because I've done a lot of research into that, I could probably point you to a couple services if you're interested. Android 4682 says they're back from dinner. Glad I didn't start doing the tutorial thing yet. Yeah, no, it's going to be another hour until the tutorial. But in about a half an hour, I'm going to start gathering responses on what in particular the tutorial should focus on. So start brainstorming those because we'll be digging deep into a topic. Or maybe not deep. It'll depend on whether we want to make it beginner friendly and you guys, are just exploring this topic, or whether you already know a lot about the topic and I do too. So we'll see. Okay, so when clicked, copies the top and left offset of the current element onto the element selected by the first argument. Onto the element, we'll just say like specified by the selector argument. Okay. Okay, when clicked, copies the, so just so you guys know, this this framework I'm building, Remake.js, it's kind of just like a few different libraries kind of put together, and you can use any of them separately. And like what this library does here, copy layout, is it lets you just copy the dimensions or copy the position or copy the layout from one element to another. So it's kind of like this reusable thing that you could just reuse anywhere. And then like Switch.js is another example of that. This is like a super small but super useful library. So you could always just use it separately from the framework if you're interested. But I'll keep updating the documentation, making videos, and then as you guys check it out more, or as people check it out more, then I can see, how to make them more useful and like easier to use. In terms of deployment, might crack out the Illustrator Photoshop and work on the design though. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just thinking like if you wanted to do the design from scratch or if you wanted to get like something up real quick. Like with like a lot of my projects, sometimes I just like to get something out quick just so I can like get some interest, like set up a newsletter, that kind of stuff. But if you have the skills to like custom design it and that's important to you, then I think, yeah, that's cool. That's cool too. Copies the width and height from the current element onto the element specified by the selector argument. Yeah, I just say that because, well, like pretty much everything apparently. Yeah, I was just saying that because like projects are really hard and you don't realize when you're first starting out like how much you're really taking on. So if you can get something off the ground really quickly, that can sometimes make a big difference. My new project is let's use my old skills because I spend too much time Pythoning. Nice. Yeah, it's really cool to just yeah, like build something for fun that's not gonna like make or break your like job or whatever. Like that's just kind of improving your skills, but then you're also like learning something and maybe eventually you can use it to like, I don't know, start a company or like find another job if you want. But to just have something like not a lot of pressure on you, that's pretty cool. When click copies the width and height from the current element onto the element specified by the selector argument. We'll say notes. Yeah. I think even thinking like, so like with this framework I'm building, like sometimes when I think about like, oh, I want like 100 people to use it tomorrow, or like, oh, I want to make money off of my, side project. It feels like it just like saps a lot of my energy because all of a sudden all these expectations built up. So I think just like having something that's just genuinely fun on the side is just so important and so nice, where you can just kind of like escape into it and not have to worry about, money or fame or anything like that. It's just can be kind of fun. I think that's super, super important. Especially in like a culture like the United States where like everyone's like, be productive all of the time. I definitely feel that attitude affecting me sometimes. Properties. Yeah, sometimes I feel like unless you're having fun, you don't feel productive. It just feels like an endless grind. Yeah, yeah, totally. Um, I should replace this with left. I'm curious what you guys think about this. So if you have like a really big project, like super big, like impossible big, um, do you think it's possible to do that project and like work towards that goal without getting burnt out? You know, like, or do you think that like if the goal is big enough, it's pretty much impossible to not get burnt out? Eventually, you're gonna like burn yourself out on it. I'm curious about that. Like, I'm talking about like super big. You know, like I don't know, what would like raising like $100,000 or like a no, even bigger, like $10 million, raising like $10 million for like some charity or fundraiser you really believe in, like, and you're just starting with you, so you have to like do all the organization, like it's going to take multiple years. um, so yeah, Sullivan says, I think this is where scoping and iterating helps you a lot. So like, so like, I get that like if you set like smaller goals, that could really help. Um, and then like you like set a goal of like, oh, I just want to raise $100, or well, I'm just thinking like, and like Sullivan says, getting funds is different. Well, I mean, I think I was just trying to set like a big project goal. I mean, it could be like going to the moon or something like that. Um, you shouldn't get burnt out. You should ask for help. Okay, but like, what if it's huge, right? I don't know. Like, what if? Okay, I have this crazy idea. Okay, so my crazy idea, my like, should I reveal it? I've heard this idea that if you reveal your like ultimate dream, it makes it less likely for you to work on it. So maybe I shouldn't reveal it. Uh, so if it's huge, ask for more help. So sturdy along. So I get that, but isn't it possible that you're just going to end up burning like those people out too? You know, it's like Christopher Columbus, remember, and like the story told in school about how like his shipmates like rebelled and everything because they were getting tired. They were like, there is no, uh, you know, America. There's no like world. We're never gonna go like around the world. And they ended up getting like really burnt out and tired, and they were like hungry and everything. Um, Android 4682 says, well, I'm doing a very big project right now about shaping a custom Linux distro, minimal, and also need to make some applications for it in different languages. So that is interesting. So how long have you been working on it, Android? I'm curious. And have you gotten burnt out yet? Because this is the key question. Because I think it's totally possible to get burnt out on a project and then like come back to it, you know, like a few months later. Um, but I'm just curious, like, what your experience is like. Salvin says, I think burnout is worse when it's do or die. Like if your housing situation or eating situation depends on this huge project, then there's an added pressure to deliver. But if you're doing a huge project and it's fun and it's on the side and you just do what you can every day, you shouldn't burn out. Yeah, I guess that might be true. I have this habit of like starting a project on the side that's purely fun and then like gradually adding more expectations to it until it becomes unfun and really stressful. So I'm not sure I've ever experienced what you're talking about. I mean, I have at the start of the project, but then after a while, as the expectations grow, it gets more and more stressful. Studio Long says they put passion projects on the back burner, but I feel like taking a break is different than burnout. Android says, I've started months ago with making a Linux from scratch, and yes, that burnt me out because I kept getting stuck. But when me and my project partner decided to take a step back and just reshape an already existing distro to our liking, I kept going without much of an issue. But yeah, I get burnout from other smaller projects though. Yeah, I'm curious about that because I would really like to set a huge goal and then be able to steadily march towards it without getting burnt out. To kind of know the secret. Is it about expectations? I think that definitely does play a huge role in it. But then, I mean, so Sullivan said I think she made a really good point where she said scoping and iterating. Oh yeah, this one. I think burnout is worse when it's do or die, like if you're a housing or eating situation. So I think that's definitely true. But I think it's similar for me. Okay, say I wanted to create like a city. I wanted to create a new utopia, right? And so I have to get permission to have the city. I need to get a bunch of people behind it, politics, everything. And this is a huge project. This is going to take my entire lifetime to get the city off the ground. And as expectations around the city grow, people are like, oh, I want to live in this city. Oh, this sounds like such a great idea. Then the pressure builds up, right? And so I think even if it's not do or die, as expectations get added on to your project idea, whatever it is, even if they're not do or die expectations, just having other people rely on it as something that might come to pass, I think it can get pretty stressful. But then I think that's kind of where Studio Long's point comes in, where you get other people involved in it. Because I think if you're not owning the idea just yourself and you're not feeling like you're the only one responsible, then I think it can remove a lot of the expectations and feeling like it's do or die even when it's not. So I think those are really good advices. Those are both good pieces of advice. Yeah. So sharing the burden and paying attention to your expectations. Android says one of the reasons why I don't get burnt out on my big project is because I actually want/need to use the distro. So if I want to use it, I need to finish it. Yeah. I think that's also a really good point by Android, because I feel similarly, when there's a project and I just bring it down to the logical, I'm either going to do this and then I'm going to have this or I'm not, then it's just kind of, a simple question. Do I want this to exist, or do I not want it to exist? And if at the end of the day it comes down to it and I, no matter what, I want it to exist, then I'll find a way to make it work. So I think that's a good point, Android. Setting your mind to something and just being like, I want this to exist. That's a pretty good thing. Yeah. Okay. Next philosophical question. On the topic of now I need 8 hours. Yeah. Yep. So I'm curious, Alvin, do you think that has to do with age, or do you think it has to do with like everything else. Because, I mean, a lot of things come with age, right? You know, like you have bills to pay, you have a house, maybe you have debt, maybe you have plans. I'm curious what you think about that, Sullivan. If you think it's age, or if you think it might be everything that comes with age. Yeah, you don't care about the end result. That can be hard. Combines. Okay, so combines data copy position and data copy dimensions into one attribute. Okay. First argument is the selector. The arguments in order. One is the selector for the offset for the element to copy the positional offset onto. Two, yeah. So Sullivan says that like part of it is the things that come from age, and some of it is the body just says, yo, you need to calm down and catch your breath for a second. I think exercise stems a lot of the physical issues you might have, though. Yeah. I've done a lot of thinking about age, and my opinion is kind of that it can't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. And not because I think it doesn't matter, but because I think if you think it does matter, it makes things even harder than they have to be. You know? Like maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. But I kind of like the idea that age doesn't matter. I don't know. Also, I totally think that if I was like still in high school, everything was taken care of for me. You know, like I got free food, I got free housing. Um, you know, like I went to gym class every day. You know, like I don't think I would be that stressed out. I think my body would be like, yeah, stay up until, like 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. every night. Like, you don't really like have anything that's like super mentally taxing that you need to do anyways. You know, like when when life has enough of a habitual nature to it, it only matters for physical limitations, which is a major symptom of clinical burnout. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I think I'm going through that a little bit right now. Definitely have some of those symptoms, I think. Um, like if you don't exercise, you're tense for long periods of time, you work too much and don't sleep, it accumulates. You're just paying off the debt you owe. Yeah. How do you exercise? I'm curious about, and this is a question for Chad again, like, how do you all exercise? Sometimes I do yoga, sometimes I use this app called 7 Minute Workout, but it's hard for me to stay like consistent with exercise. I'm curious what you guys do. Studio Long says they bike to work. I think that's awesome. I used to walk back and forth from work, but I don't do that anymore. Biking is super awesome. I used to know this guy who would bike in the winter in Boston. Because I'm too busy to actually go to the gym during my day. Yeah, I get that. I had this job once where they were like like they were all about having people work all the time. Like when I first started working there, they would like look at me funny when I left at 5 p.m., but I would show up at 9 a.m. and I would leave at 5 p.m. every day, and I would get the funny looks. And then I made it a point to every day take an hour-long lunch, and I would walk like, I think it was like 3 or 4 miles during lunch, maybe more. It might have even been more, but however long takes you exactly an hour. And I would walk all the way around like Boston, like this huge route, like around the Science Museum, and then around the bridge, and then over the bridge, and then to the other side, and then all the way back to work. And it would take me like an hour, even sometimes an hour and 10 minutes every day. And I did it slightly passive aggressively because I was like, this work culture is very unhealthy, and I think having an hour-long lunch is very important. But it injured my knee and haven't gotten back into it, but it definitely boosted motivation and energy. Yeah, that sucks. Jeez. How's your knee feeling now? Yeah, this was at a startup, and they were all about like the startup culture and like bleeding their employees dry. It was a really terrible work environment. They like sold me on this like grand vision, and then it turned out we were just making WordPress websites for clients most of the time. So yeah, I mean, it kind of actually ended up being like a studio, like a freelance studio, even though they sold it as like, we're creating this revolutionary startup product. Um, yeah, exactly. Like if you work, I think like 3 or 4 hours a day, I think you'll be more productive than someone who works 8 hours a day. I honestly think that's the like dead truth. I think that's so true because I've experienced this myself. Like I'll take an extra 3 hours off from work, and during that time, I'll come up with an idea that literally saves me 3 days of work. So I think taking time off is very, very underrated. The university is public, so I'm technically a state employee. The culture is so different from the agency. That's awesome. That's so cool that you found a good place to land. The fire. I'm so close to having this documentation done. 3, the right. No, it's not. It's the right. 4 is whether to copy the width, height, or both. Split stop. It's a university thing. Nice. That's awesome. Nice. So you like Agile? You think it's an improvement? 5 is the selector for the element selector for getting the element to copy with height onto. If not present, this will default to the element selected in the first selector. Argument. Okay. I think Agile is great if you aren't too religious about it. The biggest benefit is scoping features so your devs don't burn out. If the product owner, scrum master, and the higher ups are on board and open-minded, it goes very well. I think that is a super healthy attitude to Agile. The same company I worked at that was like all about going from like 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. was also, they also had these like every 2 weeks, where you set up like the tasks you're going to work on. And every single time I would like say, oh, I think I can do this task, and that task. And they would like look at me like, that's all? They would be like, don't you want to pick up, maybe this other huge task? And I'd be like, okay, I guess I can take that on too. And every week it was just awful because I would never be able to finish all of the work. So then again, they would look down on me. And then like all kinds of bugs would come up, and it's because they're like finishing their tasks like super fast and not paying attention to the code quality. I don't know. I complain about that job way too much. But yeah, I think Agile can work, and it can also really, really not work. Yes, if you want me to deliver it. Yeah. Yeah, I think I could have definitely pushed back a lot more at that company. I think it had an unhealthy culture in general. Okay, so I am going to update my gist with this new version so that we have better documentation for remake. So it's going to go from this to a much fuller documentation. The agency I worked at adopted Agile by starting to call everything a sprint regardless of the timeline. That's funny. Yeah, sprints are a really weird thing because I think some people try to cram too much in, especially if they're not technical. Okay, let's edit this a little bit more. I think we can. Yeah, it does make you sound faster though. That's funny. Attributes. Oh, okay. Hey, Brian R2000, how's it going? Welcome to the live stream. I'm working on some documentation for a framework I'm building. and let me know if you have any questions or if you want to fill out this, this form. I'm going to do a tutorial very soon, and this form is going to determine what I work on. So fill it out like within the next couple minutes if you can, because we're going to be actually figuring out a more in-depth topic soon. Okay, so let's make a copy of this. I want to do Twitch questions 2. Awesome. Oh man. Okay, so we'll do a new form. Okay, there we go. Twitch questions 2. Okay, so let's go to our original form and we're going to see what people responded with. Actually, I'm going to wait for if any of you guys have any if you have any ideas for what I should be doing the tutorial about, please answer the questionnaire now, because I'm going to start making a more in-depth questionnaire soon. So get your responses in within the next 3 minutes. By 12:35, I'm going to start working on the new form to go more in-depth into what this topic is going to focus on. Okay. So attributes, arguments. Oh, that does that make sense? Oh yeah, bold. Okay, arguments, notes. Okay, output.js is going to do that. And we're going to say attributes. I think editing the original is going to be better, actually. Okay, so we'll do that and that. Let's copy this. So now we've got the attributes, arguments, notes. Heading level 2, attributes. Okay, so 2. The spacing is definitely not consistent here. Hey, Padocrack, if you could answer this form that I listed above here. Everyone answer the form above so we can decide what the tutorial will be about. Okay, so Salvin asked what's winning so far. We can check. We're tied. We have a lot of ties. So we have CSS Grid, React, Node and Express, Sketch, and I think this is, Remake.js. Nice. Hey, Willie Hedge. Hey, Wetwork Admin. If you could answer the form above, I'll paste it again. Okay. Last chance to pick a topic for the tutorial. Answer within 2 minutes. Okay, and I'm going to set a 2-minute timer. And as soon as this timer runs out, we're going to go with the topic that has the most votes. Okay. So 1. Okay, let's do 1 here. Okay, 1, 2, 2, 2. How does this look? Oh, it's too close together, huh? I messed up, I guess. Okay. Yeah, we need more space here. Okay, cool. React is cool. Okay. Nice. Yeah, we did a little tutorial yesterday about React, and we might end up doing another tutorial today. I'm actually not super experienced with React, so we'll kind of be learning together. So that'll be cool. Thanks for adding your voice. Okay. So do note. I think this should have more space. Okay. Can't believe I'm worrying so much about the spacing of the documentation, but it kind of matters. Okay, cool. Are you a new developer? Okay, our timer is up. Our timer is up and we got a lot of responses. Ooh, this is exciting. So we have a three-way tie between Grid CSS, React.js, and Node and Express. Okay, cool. So we are going to, can you guys type either flip a coin or secondary vote? So option 1 is we're going to flip a coin to decide which topic, and option 2 is that we're going to have another vote. So just type in 1 or 2, and then that's how we're going to decide which topic we dig into. And if we have a little extra time, we'll do multiple topics. Yeah, we'll do like a random number generator. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a better idea than flipping a coin. Okay, secondary vote, flip a coin. Okay. I'll wait like 1 more minute for anyone else who wants to get their vote in. Radio box. What is radio box? What do you mean radio box? Like doing a radio box in React? Oops. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. That looks fine. That looks fine. I don't think I'm being super consistent with this. So we can only choose one option. Okay, no one else wants to vote for what we do, so I guess we're going to have another vote. Okay, so I guess we can just do a vote here, right? That doesn't really matter. So Grid, React, or Express. So 1 is Grid, 2 is React, and 3 is Express. So vote for what the tutorial will be about. For what tutorial at 1 p.m. Okay. And if this is another time, I'm sorry, but we're just going to flip a coin. I hope that'll be okay. Okay, 2, 2, 2. I think we can. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, So we'll just have one space between each of these. Attributes, copy that. So there's just one space. Okay, are all the votes in? Should we count them? Oh no. Oh no. I lost an attribute, guys. What happened to my documentation? No. Okay, wait. I know the votes are in, but I just have to check this real quick. Oh, I lost it. What is it? Data. Oh no, I don't think we use this attribute. I think I just made more than one notes area for this attribute. Okay, cool. So let's save that and let's count up the votes. Okay, did everyone vote? Are you guys all good? Just so everyone else knows, these are the possibilities for the tutorial that we're going to do in about 15 minutes. Is going to be on Grid CSS, React.js, or Express.js. If you have a vote, get it in right now, like in the next 10 seconds. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're gonna do it on Grid CSS. This is gonna be a learning opportunity for me too. Okay, so what do we want to do with Grid CSS? Do we want to build a page layout? Do we want to? You guys can make suggestions too. So what are we gonna do? Going to make with Grid CSS. Option 1 is we can make maybe like a portfolio gallery page. Option 2 is that we'll make like a blog layout, I guess. 3, we can do like newspaper. 4, I guess I'll search like cool things to do with Grid CSS. Oh no. Hexagonal. I don't know, that might be a little too much for me. That does look interesting though. This is cool. It's calendar. I guess we could do that. Or something like it. Might not be quite as good. But we could put in calendar. Maybe comics. We could try comics. And just by the way, I'm not like an expert in Grid CSS, so this is something we'd be learning at the same time. Okay, so we've got this one, and we'll add an other option, and we'll delete this option. We'll say like comic panels. Nice. Okay, cool. So we'll copy this. You guys can vote. Hey, Zazo, welcome back. Yeah, I remember you. Vote for what will build with Grid CSS at 1 p.m. Yeah, Cloudinary. I've used Cloudinary before. They're a really cool service. I use them for both of the web apps that I made. Do they have an API for converting something to a sketch or a cartoon? Well, you'd have to look it up. So if you go to like Cloudinary and you go to their image transformations, so if we go to like their image transformations documentation, let's see, animated images. Nope, that's not what we want. Common image transformations. They have cropping to the face, cropping, let's see. They have auto cropping, automatic cropping. Okay, wait. Colorblind accessibility, outline effects, tint effects. So this looks kind of more like what you're going for, right? I mean, this kind of looks like the okay, cool. So you've captured it from the webcam and you want to process it. So you can rotate it. Did you find the Cartoonify API? Oh, oil paint. Would this be okay? Are you okay with this? put stars over their faces. Nah, bro. Okay. So not with the oil paint. Did you look through this page of image transformations to see if Cloudinary had what you're looking for? Yeah, the stars over the face is pretty funny. Okay, let's see. Cloudinary, Cartoonify. Okay. How about this? Is this okay for you? Like if your image looked like this? That's fine? Okay, so it looks like they have a demo. You can upload an image. Let's see. Let's do this one. So like that's what it would end up looking like. So you're saying you need the code. They probably have the code. Let's see. Cloudinary GitHub. No. Cloudinary. I mean, maybe it's in GitHub. Maybe we search cartoon. It's probably not going to be here. How about like examples? So if we just look at the source code of this page, widget Cloudinary global all. I wonder what this is. Not sure what that is. That might be the actual code. But basically, is that what you're looking for? You're just looking for the pricing? Oh, you need the implementation code. What I need the image process is to be taken from a webcam, and I've already done this part, but not knowing how to process the captured image with JS. So, yeah, so this is the implementation code right here. So like this is how, Cloudinary is pretty cool because this is how it works. It lets you capture logic inside of a link. So once you have an image uploaded to them, you can just add this flag, e_cartoonify, and then :3080, and those are like arguments you're passing to the cartoonify function, and then you pass in the name of the ID of the image. So I've used Cloudinary before. You can like get a simple example of like how to upload to their service. No, that's not what you want. So like, yeah, you could use this like upload widget. And they even actually have like the camera right here. So dude, this is what you want. You want this upload widget. Wait. Okay. You want the latest upload widget, which is going to give you something like this. Hey, the noob life, what's up? We're going to be doing a tutorial real soon, so stick around. We already voted on the tutorial. It's going to be on CSS Grid, and we have a secondary questionnaire. Fill this out, and we're going to focus on building that with CSS Grid. So yeah, so this is what you want, Zazocarum. Go here, get this upload widget, sign up for an account with Cloudinary, and then look, this is the Zazocarum, this is the code you're going to want, and this is going to give you back a result that has all of the info about the, or sorry, no, it's not there. Is it there? Anyways, I don't know. You can figure out how this works. It's going to give you back the image, though, after it's uploaded, and it's going to give you back the public ID. Now, once you have the public ID of the image that was uploaded, you can craft a URL that looks like this, and then all you have to do is insert the public ID right here. So if you put in your public ID that you got back from them, and then you pass in this URL to Cloudinary. So the other things other than Grid CSS were this, but we ended up going with Grid CSS because more people wanted to learn about that. So we had like React, Python, Angular, Node, Express, Remake, Firebase, SketchApp. Okay, so you got that? Zazocarum, you're going to use the upload widget, you're going to install that. It's going to give you this. When someone uploads an image from the camera, this widget's going to give you back yeah. This widget's going to give you back the public ID of the image, and then you can use that to modify it using this. So this is the other thing you need. So there you go. Those two links should set you on the right path. If you want more guidance, try it out yourself, and then come back like tomorrow or the next day, and I can help guide you with what you're having trouble on. There's a lot of great like Cloudinary tutorials too. So if you like search for like Cloudinary tutorial, you're going to come across a lot of great things, probably like a lot of videos too. So like this one, image upload in 15 minutes with Cloudinary and JavaScript. But you probably want to use the upload widget. Okay, cool. Yeah, share the link, the Noob Life. I wanna know what you found. Okay. So source code mode. I'm gonna publish this. Okay. Attributes. Okay, input.js and copy layout don't have attributes yet. Okay. I'll edit this. Okay, I finished the remake.js quick reference. So now if you go to remakejs.com, you're redirected to the documentation. Right here, oh wait, I didn't add the quick reference yet. Okay, so we're gonna edit this page, and we're gonna say, quick reference of all attributes. Okay, so if you guys are curious about Remake and all the different libraries and what it can do, you can go to remakejs.com, and then that'll redirect you here, and then you can get the quick reference here, which will point you to all the different attributes and what they do, which is the thing I just finished. It's a little bit complicated. I think a more like step-by-step guided tutorial would be good, but for now that'll have to do. Okay, so Zazo Karim had one more question. How can I add a design of a frame with text or logo on top of this processed image? Okay, so for that you're going to want to do, it's called watermark, is the official term. So just search for Cloudinary watermark, and then they're going to give you an idea of how to add that. So yeah, this is kind of a tutorial on that. Yeah, so just search for Cloudinary watermark, and they have they have cookbook examples, they have other examples. So you're just going to need the public ID of the image, and then you add a transformation to it. Cloudinary is a little bit hard to get started with at first, but you're going, as you get used to it, it becomes easier and easier, you know, like most things. And it's a pretty easy, in general, it's a pretty easy thing to get to learn. So I'll post this in the chat for you. To be honest, Zazo Karim, you're going to, this is going to be hard. Like, this would be hard for me, and I've worked with Cloudinary before. So just be patient with yourself and take it step by step. Okay, so now I'm going to check out the Noob Lives thing. If anyone hasn't responded to the form, I think this was the one, right? Yeah. Respond to this form. Within 1 minute. Okay. And then we're going to build whatever that is in a couple of minutes. Okay, so let's see what the Noob Life sent. So Firebase database with React. Did you find this on Code Sandbox, like it was already built? Oh yeah, it looks like it. So yeah, someone built a tutorial and then this is part of it. Yeah, this is perfect. Yeah, so it looks like they already have Firebase set up for you. So all you have to do is enter in your configuration information and your database URL. Hello, one. Nice. And then if I refresh this page, will it show up? So it goes away? I'm confused. I mean, it's cool. It's got editing, it's got deleting, it's got adding. I mean, it seems like it's exactly what you need. I'm just wondering why the data went away after. I guess maybe it's not loading the data when the page loads. Get user data. I think it is. But that's cool. That's a really good start. I think what I would recommend you do is like either download this project and use it locally, or just fork it. You can fork it and then start building right inside of Code Sandbox. That's awesome. And you have the tutorial too, so this is probably a really good place to start. That's awesome. This is a great resource. I think you'll learn a lot from just playing around with this. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Okay, so let's see what the responses we got from here are. 40% want us to build comic panels and 40% want us to build a portfolio gallery page. Okay, so do we have people watching? Are we ready for this tutorial? Okay. Are we ready? I mean, is anyone actually gonna be interested in this or no? I mean, I'll build it either way. I don't care if anyone's watching. I'm gonna tear this up. Sullivan, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it, actually. Okay, nice. Let's do this. Android is into it too. The noob life. Yep, I think it should work. Okay, cool. So we're gonna open up this and this and this and this. Mostly, I think we're gonna just focus on this one because I really like CSS tricks. And let's see, what do we want to build? The comic panels or the portfolio gallery page? So I think it's fairly similar. You know, like so. What I'm thinking is with the image gallery, if it's like a super simple image gallery, we're just going to do something like like this, right? And that's not interesting, right? If it's just like everything's the same size. Yeah, exactly. But I think even if you're doing an image gallery, if you want to make it like even a little bit interesting, you're probably going to like do something like this, right? Where like some of them are, you know, bigger, right? So, and I think this looks fairly similar to like a comic book layout too. So let's try to create something like this, and we can make it like, let's look at like a real, so the thing about learning how to do the comic panels is that it's going to teach you how to do the portfolio gallery page too. So I think focusing on the comic book panels is going to be the right choice. So let's search for like advanced comic book layout. We'll do like panel layout. And then this is going to be what we end up creating. So that's a very simple layout. This is super advanced. Okay, so this is more what we're looking for. That kind of thing, although that's a little bit more complicated than, than I wanted. That's kind of cool. This is kind of cool. And then this is kind of cool. Okay, so of these, I think what we're going to do, I want to learn how to do something like fairly complex. This kind of looks good to me, right? Because like it's not super simple and it's not super complex. So I think if we learn how to do this, that'll be good. So let's, what do you guys think? Do you agree? Is this something you'd be interested in, or do you want me to do the super complicated one, which would be this one? We could do this one too. This one doesn't look too bad. It's a little weird. This one is the one that would really bug me. Like, how do you do that? I think we could actually do it. You want to do this? We could tackle this. It's probably going to be longer than a half an hour. Okay. Let's do that. Okay, let's do this one. Whatever, right? It'll be fine. Okay, so we'll drag this into Sketch. Hey, Commander Griffin? I don't know how to say your name. Okay, so this is the layout we're going to be making. Even though it's super complicated, whatever, we like challenges, right? Okay, so I don't know why I need to do this. Do I need to do this? It's kind of good to just have an idea of the layout. Yeah. I'm going to just like work how I would naturally work, and then I'll like talk through it. So right now I'm just like creating like a non-busy version of this layout, so that it gives us like somewhere to work off of where we're not like distracted by the images. It's just going to be like, we can like write things on top of this, and yeah, that'll be good. Okay. So this is the setup work. Things are going to get a lot more interesting fairly soon, but we got to do a little bit of setup. Yeah, this is complicated, huh? Because these are like all different sizes. Like none of these are the same size. Oh, also we're gonna use Firefox for this, because I've heard they've got really good support for Grid. Oh look, these are the same. Nope, they're not the same size. Not even these ones. The long skinny ones are the same size. Okay, so we'll do this. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay, got this. That. Someone who like knows Sketch is like totally yelling at me right now, being like, "Why don't you just use the blah 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 tool that'll just do this for you automatically?" Okay, but there we go. Done. Okay, now we will get rid of the source material, and now we have our grid layout. Hey Sebastian, hey RWW Matt, hey PaulX, hey ZFC9D3F, hey Ancient Coder. How's it going? Welcome to the club. Okay, so we are doing a Grid CSS tutorial. We are going to build this layout in Grid CSS, or at least we're going to do our best. We are very new to Grid CSS, so it might be more complicated than we think. Hey Not a Hacker, hey Playing with Skizzers, hey Pat, hey Telehis. Do we have like a ton of people in here? Ooh, that's awesome. Welcome everyone. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, you know what I should do? I should rename my channel. I'm sorry guys, I know you guys are like totally excited about this, and I should just get started. But maybe I should just like give people an idea of what this stream is about, right? And just be like, hey, this is a grid, CSS Grid tutorial / exploration. I got rated. What does that mean? It means like a lot of people showed up, but like, does it mean like someone posted about it somewhere or something? Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna start in GitHub. We're gonna create a CSS Grid folder. And then we're gonna drag this into Sublime. And then we're gonna create an index. Oh, nice. That's awesome. I really appreciate that, dude. That's really, really nice of you. I never thought that would ever happen to me. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, Lurks. Hey, it's Vodo. Hey, Moontori. We're doing a CSS Grid tutorial right now. So we're going to start out with a container. We can say it's like a grid container. And then we're going to have a bunch of items in here. Let's just see if we can like get like the items just behaving relatively well. So we're going to say like div class. We'll say like grid item and close that off, and then just copy this like a bunch of times. And then for this, we're going to get grid container. And I think we just do display grid. And this is going to give us some like really good stuff right off the bat. And then for grid items, just so we can see them, we're going to give it like a background color of like, I don't know, light gray. Okay, so let's see what this gives us. I think, yeah, okay, dude, jeez. Yeah, it's Command D to duplicate in Sublime. Okay, so we'll drag our index in there. We need a style sheet, which is link. Oh man, this is embarrassing because I've been programming for how long and I don't know how to create a style sheet. This is super embarrassing. I think it's link rel style sheet. I honestly have to Google this every time because it's like everything else is source, but this isn't. Yeah, let's just look it up live on stream. How do you create a style sheet? It's not rel, is it? It's not even. It's type. Oh, geez, what is it? It is. It's rel style sheet. Okay, and then href. Jeez. Okay. I'm like super nervous right now because there's like so many more people looking at this now. Okay, but I'm gonna calm down. Let's go to Developer Tools in Firefox, and let's see what our head looks like. Type. Do we need, yeah, we probably do need the type. Okay, nice catch. And we're gonna close Chrome. Well, this is probably where I should have started. Just grab this starting template. Okay, great. And we've already got the style sheet here. And we're going to say main.css. And just in case we need JavaScript, we probably won't need JavaScript though. And we'll put that in there. Okay, so now hopefully this works. Yeah? Exclamation point tab. So we don't have main JavaScript, and it's going to complain about it. So even though we're not going to have a JavaScript file, we're going to do that. Okay, so now why is our stuff not getting set? So our CSS is being loaded, but grid container isn't selecting grid container, or maybe it is. Maybe I don't know how grid works. So we've got the grid container. Oh, the grid, the grid items don't have a height. Yeah, let's give these a height. Okay, cool. So now we've got these. Okay, so that's a decent start. I feel good about this. Now I think the next step, I think in CSS Grid, let's close Chrome because we're not going to use it because I think Firefox has better support for CSS Grid. How do we set the width of the grid items? So I've heard that like grid template is a really good thing to use. Grid template columns. So yeah, let's use this, except, so here's a problem. Here's the first problem we're going to run into. So these template columns are going to define the column like width. Yeah. Yeah. So this is going to define the column width. But we have different widths for each column, right? This layout we decided on is the worst. But it kind of works. Like, so it works for this top area, right? So if this is all we were creating, we could create one grid width that's like this wide, and then another one that's this wide, and then we could have this item span 2 columns. Yeah, so if you guys don't know how like grid works, I don't really know that well, but it's basically like going to create a series of columns and then also a series of so we're also going to create like a series of rows like this, and then we can use these like together in order to, let's make this like a little opaque. So we can use these together in order to like have items that combine to use both of these. So like this box can like go over 2 columns and then like be in the same row. And then like this, the next item, like down here, can say, oh, I want to span 2 columns, but then I want to also go down 2 rows. I'm pretty sure this is how grid works. We're learning together. And then like down here, you can say, okay, for this last one, I'm going to have it, you know, be individual. So it's just going to be 1 column. Oh, I said opaque. Yeah. No, that's a mistake, definitely. Okay, so we can like have these like span all different ones. Yeah, so just okay, so one idea is just subdivide into more columns. For example, 12 like Bootstrap does. So then the idea, so that's a good idea. So then we could just do so this one would maybe be 3, right? So then I just want to get like a rough idea of what this is gonna look like. So this one, or there's totally a better way to do this, but I'm going to just do it. No, how do I do it? I don't know how to do it. Okay, so there's 8 between here. This is like terrifying, having people watch me do my like inefficient things while they're commenting on how inefficient I'm being. Oh my goodness. Okay. So like this. So like we could have this. Let's do like one more. And then like this one would be the width of like 4. And then this one would be the width of, nice, thanks dude, of like 5. And then this one would be the width of like 5. And then this would be the width of 3. And then, nice, awesome. Thank you guys. I really appreciate the support. It really means a lot. Okay, so nice. So we're gonna do 5 and then like 10. So this one will be 10. And then down here you can see like it would be kind of the same thing. So let's expand this. This is like getting really trippy, isn't it? This is kind of cool. I want to like make a design like this now. Not exactly like this, but oh man. Okay, so let's group that. We're gonna grab all these guys. We're gonna deselect that. We're gonna bring all these to the front. Then we're going to make this red, pink. I like pink. And then we'll, and then, no, it's gonna get better. Don't worry, dude. So then we'll make it like 50% transparent. And then this one, we're going to make like, not blue. Exactly. Let's make it like, yeah, no, this is maybe just a lighter gray, right? Because it's like too many colors, isn't it? So we'll just, okay, this is fine. Okay, so now, yeah, we can kind of see how this would fit, right? You know, like this one would be about 4, this one would be about 5, this one would be about 10 or whatever we were saying before. Yeah, we could totally make that work, right? And then it would be the same thing, I think, for the rows. I really like that idea. Okay, so let's figure out how to do that. So I think we do grid template columns. Do we still need the grid? We still need the display grid on it, right? I'm pretty sure. So we'll do grid template columns, and then we're having a total of how many columns? How can I tell how many items are selected here? Anyone know? Right click and copy, and then we can, shouldn't it tell me how many items I'm pasting? Blah. Okay, I guess we'll count them the old-fashioned way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We're going to have 17 columns. Does that work for everyone? 17, and we're going, or does it even matter? Does it matter? Whew. Is this going to be responsive? What do you guys think? Is this going to be responsive? Or can we like hard define the width and the height? I guess we're going to just hard define the width and the height. So let's see like what is our overall container size. So we're going to say we're working with like maybe, oh my god, was it 17 guys? I already forgot. Was it 17? I think it was. Was it 17? Can you guys tell me? Columns. Did I lose everyone? Okay, so we're going to have 17 columns here. And we're going to have, so we have 17 times, awesome, 17. Okay, so 17 times, let's do like 40, let's do 80. Okay, 17 times 80. And I don't know if we want the template. Do we want the template? because maybe there's a way of just saying like what the column width is going to be, and then just letting it be as many as it is. Oh yeah, no problem. I understand. So template columns. So we can have it be like a width of 80 for each, I guess. I guess let's just like write it out, right, for now, and then if it doesn't work, that's that's fine. So we have 5, 15, and then 17. So we're gonna just do it like the way we understand it for now, and then as we get smarter about this, it'll get better. So now we've got these grid lines, and we have 14 lines right now. So we're going to add 3, and we're not going to use Command D for some weird reason. Margin, and we're going to do like 100px auto. Grid container. Oh, it's because we don't have a width on it, so it's expanding to the edge of the screen, so it's not going to be centered with margin auto. I think let's just give us like a maximum width. This is actually not that great, but we'll do that for now. Yeah, because it's still not centered because each of these items has like an exact width. So I think like a better way to do this that I know of is like 1fr. I think that's like a measurement. Yeah, okay, so fr, for you guys that don't know, is a way of subdividing a grid into like a percentage, or like based on the ratio. Yeah, it's based on a ratio of like the container element. So in the container element we have a width of 1200, and so when we say for the grid item that we want each one to have a width of 1fr, we're saying keep these the same width as each other, and then fill up it like equally up to the width. So yeah, that's a good idea. Coder's Life just said make each grid item a different color. Do you have an idea for how to do that very quickly? What I was going to do is figure out how to add margins between them, and that was going to be the way I was going to differentiate. But if you have an idea for quickly adding colors to each one, I could do that. Okay, so I think column gap. This looks good. So we'll do column gap, and we'll do, let's see if like 0.5 fr works. That would be interesting if that worked. Nope. Let's try 1 fr. See if that works. Okay, so just manually adding the CSS. I don't know why this isn't working. The column gap. Okay, so now it works when it's an exact thing. So I guess you can't have fr units in the column gap. So, I mean, this kind of works for you guys, right? We don't really need separate colors for this if we have the gap. We can add colors in the future if it gets confusing, right? Okay, so let's just quickly go through this documentation. It's nice. So we're just gonna like read through it really quick, just get an overview of like what's possible. This is actually a lot of stuff. So basics are display grid, and then you can set the column and row sizes with grid template rows and grid template columns. Okay, nice. And then place its child elements into the grid with grid column and grid row. Similar to Flexbox, okay, blah, 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 doesn't matter. Okay, so we have display grid to template columns and template rows, defines the columns and rows of the grid with a space-separated list of values. The values represent the track size, and the space between them represents the grid line. What? The values represent the track size, and the space between them represents the grid line. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I guess you can name them. So you can name each line. When you have an empty space between the track values, the grid lines are automatically assigned positive and negative. What? When you leave an empty space between the track values. Okay, so these are each track values. The grid lines are automatically assigned positive and negative numbers. Oh. I think they're talking about these. So these are the positive and negative numbers, and I think they're ways of referring, they must be ways of referring to which column and which row you're referencing. So like you can refer to this first one with either 1 or -4. -4 because it's -4 from the bottom. So I guess you start up here where it's 4 and then go to 3, 3, 2, 1, or you go here where -1 is the last one. So I guess that's something that might come in handy later when we need to refer back to them. But you can choose to explicitly name the lines. So you note the bracket syntax for the line names. Okay, so that might come in handy too. If your definition contains repeating parts, you can use the repeat notation to streamline things. Okay, so that's definitely the case here. So I'm going to write out like a goal real quick because this usually helps me like think through this stuff. So ideally what I want is a comic book layout. So we already said that. I want 17 different columns. Personally, I would like these columns to be responsive. So I would like this to just keep shrinking, shrinking, shrinking down to like, however small the viewport is. So if you're on a mobile device, it should shrink to the width of a mobile device. Columns just get smaller. And we'll put like that on a heading. And we'll just say like to do. Okay, so we want 17 different columns. We want them to be responsive. And then like each panel has a like slightly different size. Okay, so we've kind of got the first part working. But I wonder if I just have one FR here, what's going to happen? So let's see what happens with that. So then, yeah, it's gonna, okay, so it just defines that. So let's use the repeat syntax. And we don't really need to, but it's kind of nice to use that. So we're gonna pass the first argument in is gonna be 17, and then we're gonna do 1FR, and then we're gonna refresh this. So now we have the same result as writing 1FR 17 times. And if we resize the browser, it just cuts off. So we're actually going to do a max width here of 1200 instead so that it will squish. Okay. Now the column gap is a little annoying to me. I tested it before. I don't think I can do 1FR with it. Yeah, it just all collapses. So I kind of want to make that responsive, like I want it to be a percentage of 1FR. I guess, so if I did it in actual percentage, maybe I could do that. Let's try that. So if I do 1%, that should be based on the width of the parent element, I believe. Can anyone confirm for me? I'm pretty sure that's how CSS works. So that looks a little bit nicer to me for like a comic book layout. Like if I'm reading this on mobile, having the gaps between the columns go down this much between like when I'm on mobile looks better to me than having the column gaps be the same on mobile and desktop, because I don't really care about the column gaps, that much. Okay, so now let's figure out how to have an item span multiple columns. That's going to be the key here. If we can figure this out pretty quickly, then yeah, and it looks like this is it right here. Yeah, I have been working with CSS for more than a decade, and I still do not understand it. Okay, so grid column start, grid column end, grid row start determines the grid item's location within the grid by referring specific grid lines. What? Oh man. Okay, line can be a number or refer to a grid numbered line, or a name to refer to a named grid line. Oh, okay. Huh. This is interesting. Yeah. This is totally what we want, right? So we say grid column start 2. So then we're going to go from the 1, like this is 1, I think. Because, okay, programming is really confusing. Most things in programming, you're going to be using 0 index numbers, but with this, you're going to be using 1 as the first index. Okay, so this is 1, then 2. So that's how we know what this is referring to. Grid column start. We're going to say 2, and then grid column end 5. Now I don't know why they don't use the number here, and they're using the spelled out, but whatever. That's, oh, because it's named. Okay. So normally you would use the index, because that's created for you automatically, like we saw before, right? We were like kind of figuring that out from this. But this is a named one, so they use the bracket notation to name it, and so that's how we're referring to that. So we're saying 5. Even though, like a really bad programmer, they named it the same thing as the index, so it's like doesn't really help anyone, it just makes things more confusing. Okay, so that's how we're saying that, and we're attaching that to the item A. So are we positioning this in the grid with just this thing? I want to know this. I definitely want to know this. Okay, so if I have these grid items and then I add another one, first of all, what's going to happen there? Did this just float? Did this just go to the next line like it's floated? Yeah, so this is kind of like floating items, except it's better because it's grid. Okay, so now we have this grid item here. Now I want to know, can I move this grid item up to like here? Can I replace this item here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach like a special class here, and I'm going to say like, I'm going to use like BEM notation. So we're going to do like grid item, and then we're going to do a modifier, and we're going to say like grid item, I don't know, so we'll say like second item. So we're going to attach that there. And then we're going to have grid item, second item, and then we're going to use this crazy syntax that we just learned about that we're not not really sure if it even works. And we're going to paste that in there. And we're going to say grid column start, and we're going to say 2, right? Because we want it to be the second item. And then grid column end, we'll just say 3. So it's just gonna span 1 of them. And then we're going to say grid row start, and we're going to say 1, and then grid row end. Dude, guys, we just found a bug in the CSS tricks. They didn't put a semicolon after this definition. Someone should report that. Maybe you got like a free year of CSS tricks. That's a joke, because it's free. But actually, that's a good practice. If you ever like run across a bug, dude, guys, we just moved it. This is super exciting. Everyone get in here. Stop working. No, I'm just kidding. It's not actually that impressive. But so this grid item comes after all the other grid items. But because it has this special styles attached to it, we actually moved it to be the second grid item. And then we pushed this item to the next line. How cool is that? Honestly, how cool is this? Isn't that really cool? This means that with grid, we have it like our power is not dependent on where the items are in the DOM. So it's not like floated items. It's not like flexbox items. It's like in a grid layout, you can just move things around willy-nilly depending on what... I did just say willy-nilly. Did I just lose all my viewers? I just got it. No, I won't. I'm not going to look. Because I'm going to do this even if no one's here. Even if I'm talking to no one. That's fine. Okay, so we learned how to move an item. Yes! I still got a viewer. Yes, cool. Sorry, still trying to fix collations. That's awesome. I applaud you fixing your collations. You should definitely stop in later when I fix everything and I understand this. I mostly use Bootstrap, but this is a nice step back to learn the basics of grids. Does Bootstrap even use grid anymore? I mean, not anymore. Does Bootstrap use grid CSS? I don't think they do. I think they use grids that are based on like Flexbox or something. But I'm not positive. Hey, Semphora, welcome. Okay, so now we know how to move these items. Now we can have it span multiple. So we're going to say, okay, Bootstrap is still Flex. Cool. That's what I thought. Yeah, because I think Grid CSS doesn't have wide enough browser support yet, but it's really getting there. I mean, it's very, very close. Are you guys dropping frames? Oh man, okay. Does anyone know what I should change? Does anyone know what I should change? Maybe this? Maybe I change the video bitrate? Can you guys see this? Yeah. Do you guys know if I change this video bitrate, will that make a difference for you guys? Yeah, 2900. Okay. Is there anything I can change on my end that will help this? In 30 FPS. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's try that. I guess we can lower the audio bitrate too. I don't know. I think 128 is fine. That's not going to make that big of a difference. And then, what did you guys say? The, where's the other, where's the frame rate thing? Oh, this one? Oh, it's active, so I can't change it. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Will you guys stay? I feel really silly saying that. Okay, I'm gonna be right back.